Hello guys, welcome to Ink 33. This channel contains the spoilers of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. If you have not watched the previous episode, Final Decisive Battle, Part 6. The link is down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe and also hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Rimuru vs Yuki, first part. I knew it, was my honest thoughts. I calmly pondered in the middle of a fierce sword fight. To begin with, why will he need a 1-month delay? If he fought in that place that day, I didn't know what the outcome will be. If he had sent Chloe towards me at that time, while I wouldn't lose, the fight will still be difficult. If he used Belda's power, he should be able to handle Veldora and Belgrind while I was being toyed with by Chloe. Moreover, Kagali, Vega, and the angels could have killed Diablo and the others. There were people who could use unique skills such as teleportation like Mai too. I think that the prediction wasn't wrong altogether. Although, if I could kill Chloe without hesitation, our chance of winning will be over 80% and the situation will be resolved. That's why I thought. They acted carefully since they feared I will act without hesitation. But I changed my mind after I saw the angels assembly and the explosion phenomenon this time. Or rather, I'm convinced. Belda, whose goal is to destroy the world, would have been more advantageous if he could do that, because everything would have been better for him if he were to hold down and eliminate us by making the energy of the angels go berserk. What was the reason for why he didn't do that? That's, he wants to buy time. I and Shiel agreed on the same thing. Although he disappeared while saying plausible things at the end, what if all of that was Yuki's acting? All pieces seemed to fit together. This is really unexpected. I didn't expect it, really. You will be the most dangerous of all. Bravo, Rimuru-san. I really did want to end the world with my own hands. But unfortunately, I really can't imagine myself winning against you. Not to mention, even that demon over there. Your power is just too insane. That chills I got when we first met was right on the money. I should have ended you back then. Did I lose my marble somewhere? Well, it doesn't matter at all now. No, in fact, if you can stop me, that will just be the will of the world. I guess we'll decide the race, huh? Goodbye, Rimuru-san. I kinda like you a bit too. Honestly, we could have been friends, you know. I ended up honestly trusting those words. He changed into Belda at the end without those words, and I thought that Yuki had told me his true intentions. However, I was wrong. It was already too late at this point. Perhaps he had started since we first met. I must admit that he acted splendidly. I was even outwitted. Although she seemed to have doubts about it, she could not find any definite fault. I was gullible enough to believe Yuki's words. On the contrary, she had said that she suspected that it was some kind of a ruse. While I laughed it off that she might be overthinking it, but if it meant something, what was it? The two of us made the prediction over it. That answer we concluded was, isn't his goal for the 1-month delay to buy himself some time? Or something like that? And that was the right answer. Yuki gradually made the power as his own inside Belda. You have deceived me until the end to buy yourself some time. Ha 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 ha, you have figured it out. 100 points for you, Rimuru-san. Well, it seemed that Velda was completely deceived about that too. Hey, there's a saying, to fool the enemy, first deceive your allies, after all, right? Stop with your bullshit. I really believed you. Ha 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 ha. That's what they call a snipe. You know, for you to believe the words of your enemy. Your mind is really simple, you know, Rimuru-san. Yuki mockingly shrugged his shoulders. Looking at him, Diablo and Milim gasped their tears while shooting nothing but dead glares towards Yuki. However, the aura emitted from Yuki was incomparable from before, cursed and made them unable to move their body at all. What a terrifying growth. No, evolution. Our weapons were on equal drums, but I felt mine was inferior. Beldanava's sword didn't budge even after it was struck by Beldora's sword, and Yuki, who wielded it skillfully, parried the impact unlike Belda. How did you get this much power? I don't feel I need to tell you, but well, I did make you wait for 1 month. I guess I could tell you that much. It's really simple. I just suppressed Belda and turned him into my subordinate. After I fully analyzed his power, I also completely analyzed Belda's knowledge and understood all of it. Thanks to that, I could easily get the power of an awakened hero too. Lucky for me, I also stole some of Leon's power. After that, I just changed our relationship from 50-50 relation into a complete domination with me in charge. Oh yeah, it was easy because Rimuru-san had crossed Belda's hope and broke his heart. Thanks for that. Yuki replied smiling. I regretted asking as what this guy said didn't always mean the truth. I was curious and unintentionally asked, but I could get deceived again if I carelessly speak with him. Although I had pompously reprimanded mine, it was unfunny as I got myself deceived too. Talking more than this with him was dangerous, and I would rather concentrate on the fight with my full power. I assume that Yuki's words just now are true, but I agree that talking more than this is dangerous. She all seemed to have sensed the danger too and agreed with my opinion. A top-class trickster was so troublesome to deal with. As I took the pride that I wouldn't be deceived easily, I felt angry that I ended up being led around by the nose by someone. However, if I got caught in too much, it will lead to a great failure. I could not really laugh at mine with this. From our conversation just now, Yuki had said that he got the power of an awakened hero. Then, it wouldn't be strange for him to have the power of an awakened demon lord too, even if he didn't say it. After all, his subordinate, Kazarian, was also an awakened demon lord. Hero and demon lord, powers of different nature, were united in the same will called Belda. And a being who could control that power as it pleased, that will be what Yuki had become now. Surprisingly, it was clear that the current Yuki had an equal power to me. However, for Rimuru-san to be the one who had Raphael, I had thought that was possible, but just as I expected. Since my plan didn't work out smoothly, I suspected you might have anticipated them. However, I didn't expect the skill that Belda was looking for was in the hand of Rimuru-san, his biggest enemy. This has really made Belda look like a clown. He's so laughable, right? As soon as I thought about ending our conversation, Yuki spoke as if to block me from doing so. I heard a pleasant tone echoed from Yuki's voice as if he sincerely thought that Belda was hilarious. What a tough opponent. I parried Yuki's sword and slashed him back while keeping my mouth shut. Ha, don't be so worried like that. You see, Belda believed that he was Beldanava's reincarnation. There's no way that could be true. What a foolish guy. It was no more than an ability. It was Beldanava's original ability. so I had him inherit all of the memories. In other words, Belda was just a similar existence like Kondo and Dharmrada, whom were called back with memory orb. He is a pathetic manas that's even inferior to the irregular being like Rudra. What a fool, isn't he? A tool that didn't even have dragon factor, and yet he misunderstood everything. However, even a fool like Belda was capable enough as a support for me. After all, I could control all of Beldanava's ability now. Yuki kept on blabbering about things even though I wasn't asking. Was his plan was to confuse me with the conversation? However, his plan was actually quite successful. It was because it made me unable to concentrate very well. Even though we were in the midst of a fight, Yuki's word disturbed my thoughts. Good grief, what a really troublesome guy he was. Nonetheless, if what Yuki had said was true, I could understand how he got the power equal to mine. It was probably true that Belda was a manas. An existence that assisted all of your abilities was very helpful, just like Xiao-Shan. Even if it was a spell formulation with difficult control, it could activate it as your proxy. In other words, while you are concentrating in close combat like this, further attacks could be prepared without your opponent sensing it. However, I could not comprehend why Yuki would bother to tell me that. I suspected the motive behind it, whether it was also one of these plans. The existence of manas itself could be considered as a very important trump card. That should be hidden. After all, I naturally felt the desire to find out his goal for telling me that. No, I suppose making me worried itself like this was what Yuki expected. There will be no end if I kept on thinking about it. I honestly reconfirmed that Yuki was a very troublesome enemy for me. You said that can control all of Beldanava's powers? Don't get conceited, you lowly human. Guy who was listening to me and Yuki's conversation shouted while glaring at Yuki with his crimson eye blazed with fury. As if they were following his lead, Belzard and Belgrand also nodded. That's right. In the first place, it was me who sealed Beldanava's holy corpse. As long as the seal not broken, there's no way someone like you can control all of the powers. Thus, Ramirez instinctively shouted. When he heard that, Yuki wickedly grinned and smiled. Ah, wait a minute. Why did Ramirez blabber about such important information so easily like that? No matter how careless and scatterbrained Ramirez was, this was clearly strange. Too bad, your shield was pointless. If I make you angry, why don't you release the seal and check it yourself? Don't you dare make fun of me, okay? Let me do that. I was convinced when I saw Ramirez was about to respond to Yuki's provocation. Diablo, stop Ramirez! As you wish. Diablo moved promptly to my order. Gently but assuredly, he locked up Ramirez, who was kicking up a fuss about something inside the deploying magic barrier. Hey, what is this, Rimuru? Calm down. Yuki's aim was for you to remove the seal. You know, just now you were acting according to his words. Huh? I calmly answered to the shock of the dissatisfied Ramirez. Ramirez was speechless when she heard my explanation. That will be so. After all, she probably didn't have any recollection about it. If you only listened to the exchange of the words, it was unlikely for you to be tricked by the contents of the conversation. And yet, she unconsciously tried to act as Yuki wanted. It was something unbelievable. If you think about it calmly, soon I naturally thought that there was some kind of skill involved in this. It seemed I had to make sure about this. There was a possibility of me being manipulated too. But I decided to trust y'all about this matter. Please leave it to me. I will analyze Yuki's skills. I spoke to Yuki after I received the reply from the reliable Seal. All this occurred while continuing to respond to the pure sword blows without averting my sight from Yuki. You are still a trickster as ever, Yuki. Ha 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 ha. What do you mean? Don't play dumb. You put your guidance in your words and you could even trick those with a strong will. I'm sure that it's not a technique on the level of a suggestive or hypnotism or something like that. It's very impressive of you. Oh my, thank you. But it's not fun now that you have seen through it though. Like I care. Yuki does my words with his aloof attitude. Since he wasn't faced by it, he seemed to have anticipated that things were to be seen through. Then, this meant thought guidance wasn't his trump card. It might be more reliable to deal with Yuki's words by treating them all as lies. No, could it be that was his aim? If I mix a bit of truth within the lies, it will make me under the impression that even the truths were lies too. Was it the reverse pattern of mixing a bit of lies into the truths? I think that's very likely. Unfortunately, I have analyzed the wavelength pattern of all his energy including his voice print, but I couldn't discern whether he's lying or telling the truth. Just as I suspected. However, it was a pain that even Shield was unable to tell it apart. It will be certainly difficult as we couldn't read him even from his expression or emotions. There was nothing that could be done about this. Then, that meant I had no other choice but to judge it myself. What information that Yuki would want me to believe that it was a lie. Additionally, I have confirmed that Yuki's words harbored some kind of power. This is probably the primitive magic, power of words, presumed that thought guidance might have evolved. What power of words, you said? I asked Yelshan for more details. Any kind of primitive magic was placed on a higher rank than the magic used by the demons. She said that it was the source of all magic. However, characteristics wasn't manipulating physical phenomenon. She told me that it had the power to affect the soul. While it had no effect on physical matters, its effect was tremendous inside the spiritual world. In other words, it was a terrifying magic that could exert its effect and invalidating defense barriers. I was surprised that it could affect even strong people who had awakened ultimate skill. Also, a being who could use this magic will become the natural enemy of any spiritual life form. Just like how Rimuru easily got included now, it could affect the inside of someone's heart. For now, our swordsmanship was on equal terms. Neither I nor Yuki was being impatient, but neither of us had received any blows. Yuki protected his whole body with a god-class armor, but it wouldn't be able to withstand a hit from Beldora's sword. Likewise, I wasn't confident that I could withstand a hit from Beldanava's sword. After all, I felt energy surpassing Beldora's sword from that sword. Its power truly should be called as the incarnation of Beldanava. It can't be. You really can control Beldanava's powers. My hunch told me so as if I received a divine revelation. The reason why Yuki was buying himself time was probably to get enough power to beat us for sure. If that was the case, it was pretty logical that meant for him to obtain Beldanava's powers. What the heck are you talking about? There's no way that could be true. That's right, Rimuru. Like I said before, if the seal is not removed, Guy and Ramirez were denying it. But Belzard and Belgrand were silent. Milim was silent as well. They probably had sensed it. The same sources as Beldanava's powers. It was the power overflowing from the sword Yuki wielded. Ahahaha. Yuki suddenly began to laugh as if the dam inside was now broken. He kept laughing while blocking the blows from my sword. Then, bravo, Rimuru-chan. There will be nothing at all even if that fairy over there had released the seal. I just wanted to see her face of despair when she did so. After all, it's true that I have broken the seal, you see. Everyone excluding me felt quite as if they were frozen after they heard Yuki's words. My institution told me that he was telling the truth. It wasn't a lie to make me cautious. The reason was there was not much merit for him to tell such a lie. That meant Yuki had broken Beltanaba's seal in a month, and the 1 month delay was for that purpose. Yeah, I wanted to see those faces. After all, I got really serious now. I may have lost the game to end the world using my tools, but wouldn't it be fine for me to have some fun until the end? Yuki was laughing as if he was having fun from the bottom of his heart right now.